channel. Today we're going to do a ceramic faux candle holder with stuff from Dollar Tree. This is, I think it's actually called Enamel, but anyway, I think it's cute and I'm going to show you how I made it. The first thing is you're going to want 3 of these. We're actually going to do 2 different ones. One is 2-tier and one is 1-tier. And the tiers we're going to use these for. So you just want to take the handle off like this, and you're not going to be able to turn it over and use it this way. So you're going to have to take off the little pieces that the handle goes into. And we've done that on these 2. And some of them may bend. I personally think it just adds to the look of it. You want to pick the one that's the sturdiest, and the one that's kind of wobbly you can take and add as the top of it. You need this one? The next thing you're going to need are these little plastic plates. These come in a pack of like, I think maybe 8 or 10 at Dollar Tree for $1. And you're going to need 2 of those. Then you're going to need some sort of greenery. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're $1.99 and they were 50% off. So I got like maybe 6 or 7 of those. And I just take and cut pieces of them off. So you're going to need some sort of greenery. Then you're going to need 2 different size pieces of twine. You're going to need the thicker one, and then you're going to need thinner one. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these, and then also something that's going to go around the greenery to kind of keep it together, make like a faux knot. You're also going to need some black paint and some white paint. I got this small tube of white from Hobby Lobby, and this one came from Walmart. This one is almost empty. I need more of this one. And then you're going to need something to put your paint on. You're not going to need very much of it. That's about the size of what I use for the other one. I like to use the sponge brushes because I'm going to use the ends of them for a project. When we're done painting, I take them off and I'm going to do a candle holder with these. And when I do that, I'll be sure to film it so you guys can see that. So to get started, I like to use Gorilla Hot Glue because I think it just works better, it holds better, but you can use whatever kind of glue you want. To glue these together, when I try to just glue them together, I end up with a ring. If I hadn't thrown it away, I would show you, but I end up with a ring of hot glue where they come apart. So I found that putting a piece of like twine that you would tie like a roast or something with works really good to hold the 2 pieces together, and it doesn't come off as easily. And then you're going to reinforce with this, wrapping it around, and it also hides the seam really well. So the first thing you want to do is determine which one is your bottom. This is going to be my bottom one because it doesn't this one doesn't wobble as much as this one does. So then you're going to take your hot glue gun and you're going to put just little by little, because if you go too fast with this and put all of your glue down at once, it'll dry because it is on the middle. And you're going to, without burning yourself, wrap this around the edge of the bottom. So it's going to go around like this. Just little bits at a time. And you don't have to worry about it being messy along here because that's actually going to be hidden. just add the rest. I think I may have cut a strip that was too long. Then just trim off the excess and push it down in there. And then you have something that will stick to the metal. Well, and then you can attach this one to it. You just want to make sure that this is even when you attach it on there. And you also want to line up your seams so that you have a pretty presentation on here as well. I'm going to add glue to the bottom of this one, and this one you just add like a generous amount of glue. If it goes on the inside, it's okay. And like I said, this is going to be covered, so you're not going to see it anyway. Now you want to take and glue this to this. And it already has the center pretty much marked out for you. So you can either eyeball it or you can measure it out however you want to do it. The first one I just eyeballed, so that's probably what I'll do for this one as well. And we're going to glue it on this side. And once you get it on there, just kind of push it down. And that's the start of the candle holder. Can you hand me that paper down there? Use that for my paint. And before you add the twine on here, you want to go ahead and paint the white on there, and you're going to need more than one coat. Paper now so I don't get paint everywhere. It's still squishy. For this one, this is $1.99 at Hobby Lobby. It's the Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in white. And you don't need very much. I use little bits at a time, just simply because I don't want to waste the paint, because I've done a lot of crafts here over the last couple of days, and I don't want to go out every day and get paint. You just want to do a light coat on it at first. And with the chalk paint, you can use a hairdryer and it dries really quick. And I found with like the farmhouse stuff, you don't have to be super neat with it, just because a lot of it's made to look rustic anyway, or antique or vintage, or whatever you want to call it. I do paint the underside of the tray because it gives it more of a full coverage look. You don't want any of this plastic showing through on these. It'll take away from the store-bought look. And I do go ahead and just paint over these, even though they're white, because it'll give it all that cohesive the same kind of white, all a cohesive color. I do paint over where the hot glue and the twine went, just because in case the other twine doesn't cover it up completely, then you don't really see the hot glue. And that's the start of it. So I went ahead and hit this with the hairdryer and put on another coat, and then hit it with the hairdryer again. Now I'm just adding some twine at the bottom to reinforce this and keep it together. And so far, that's what our candle holder looks like. Kind of cute so far. Now I'm going to turn this upside down, and we'll grab another hot glue stick because I might need it. And we're going to take this and we're going to start, let's see, you kind of want to start where you think the prettiest part is. I think I'm going to start here, because wherever you start, that's where you want to hopefully end, so that you can put your greenery on there. And you don't have to hot glue all the way around for the whole thing. You can just take and put like pieces along the way, but if you see that it's not going where you want it to go, hit it with hot glue and it'll stay. And then you can always, if you miss a spot, bring it back down or up, for that matter, to where you think it needs to go, and cover up any spots that you think you missed. I'll probably stop here, save that for another project. And then put, this stuff blends really well. It's from Dollar General. It's their crafting twine or whatever it's called, and it blends really good with itself. And before we paint the enamel look on here, I'm going to go ahead and do the flowers, just because I want that finished before I do any paint. I'm not afraid of getting the white paint on the twine, but I am afraid of getting that black on there, because once the black goes on there, it'll kind of stain the the twine, and you can't really get it off from there. So, and you're just gonna wrap, after you glue the two ends together where you cut it off at, just kind of wrap it together. And the greenery doesn't have to be perfect, and just kind of glue it back on itself. And then just stick it where the other twine ended. There's that. Now for the enamel look, I just shake it a little bit, get some onto the lid, and then put it on the plate, because you don't need a whole lot. You just want to load your brush just enough that it has some in it, and then you're just going to carry it around the edge. And then for the true enamel look, you can bring it some little spots in there, some bigger than others. And if you feel like you don't have enough paint, you can always put more on it. And the thing with the enamel look is it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be thicker lines, thinner lines. And then you take and go around the bottom and do the same thing. And if you don't want to use a hairdryer, you may want to do the top first and then the bottom, so you can sit it down for it to dry. But I like to use the hairdryer because it's like an instant, it just dries it instantly, so I don't have to worry about it. So that's the first one. I'm going to dry this one, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys how to do the small one. So I want to show you guys something really quick. When it comes to these tins, if you can find something like maybe one of the little plastic shot glasses or anything like that that you can use in place of these, that would be good too. I like these just because they have the lip, and the enamel stuff has the lip. But when you're taking these off where they're like spot welded or whatnot, you get these little pieces, these little shards of metal. And when you go to take them off, it's even more little shards of metal. And then they do get bent up pretty good. So you just have to find the one that's not bent up as bad. And then if you have, I'm bumping the tripod. If you have some little pieces that are sticking up, you can take the pliers and go in there and then push them down. I don't mind these being bent. I knew that was kind of going to happen when I started taking the pieces off of them, so I don't mind it. But if you do, or you're afraid you're going to get cut on them, find something plastic in place. I know Dollar General has like the little neon colored shot glasses, but it's not the same effect. So just an FYI on that. This one is not as wobbly as this one, so I'm going to use this one for the project. And you're going to pretty much use the same thing, only this one's going to be a little bit different. You are going to use these two. But instead of having it this way, when you did the two, you're going to turn it upside down, and you're going to use it this way. And this is going to be a little bit easier because you put it on there, you sit it down, and you can kind of put the little dot in the middle to show you where it goes. And this one is going to be just a little bit lower, and they'll look really cute as a set. So For this one, you don't have to put the twine on there, because this plastic will stick to this, kind of like we've seen with the other ones. So you don't necessarily need twine in between these two, but if you did, it would probably give it extra hold. But I use the hot glue that's Gorilla Glue, so for me it doesn't really matter. And again, you can use the generous amount of, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. So just put a generous amount of hot glue around there, just because it'll hold it a little bit better, and you're not going to see the underside of it anyway, so it doesn't even really matter. So you're going to take it and turn it. And then you just put it in the center, line your little dot up with the center of the cup, and just let it sit there for a second and cool, and this should be good. And the same thing for this one. You're just going to take your white chalk paint, and then you're just going to paint it. 2 to 3 coats is probably the best. So I'm going to go ahead and paint mine, and then I'm going to dry it, and I'm going to come back and show you guys what we're going to do from there. So now I have the little one done. It's not completely dry yet, but it has like 3 coats on this one, and you can see it's still a little bit wet there. That really doesn't matter though. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the hot glue gun, and we're going to come down here where the seam, or like the ridges were on here, and we're going to glue a little piece there, and we're going to glue it a little bit here. And I like putting it where this is because it's already kind of pre-marked, so you can't mess it up. It's like a little line that shows you where it goes. And we'll take it right back here, and then I think I'm probably going to cut it there. So it's going to leave you the little frayed edges there. I don't mind that so much. I think I am going to cut this down just a little bit though. I think that much is too big for this little one, and you're not going to see it that much anyway. So for this one, where'd the little piece go? There it is. I think for this one, I'm just going to cut off a tiny piece. And I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right there. And I'm just going to twist it a little bit until it comes back around to the front. I'm just going to hold it there. And then on here, I'm going to take and put a little bit of hot glue where the frayed edges are. And then I'm just going to stick that there. And let the frayed edges kind of hang out just a little bit. Now, while the rest of this is drying, it's for the most part dry, I'm going to go ahead and take the black and go back along these edges. Like that. And again, you can bring in the little imperfections, like is on the like genuine enamel stuff. And then if you get like the little lines, I don't like seeing the little brush lines, so I'll add a little bit more. And then you can thicken it up or thin it out or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then on the bottom, same thing. You just go ahead and hit it with a little bit of the black chalk paint. And then if you get any pieces like this with the hot glues up, you can take an X-Acto knife or your hot glue gun, and you can take and get rid of that. My personal opinion is, if you are looking at somebody's candle holder that closely, you probably need to go home. But that's the little one. And a little matching set. So you have 2 tiers of candle holders. You could take and put pretty much anything on there. I'll have to touch that up because I touched it. That's why I always hit it with hot glue, hair dryer, just so that I don't do that. But I'm a mess anyway. So this is the finished look. I think they turned out really pretty, and I'm really excited because I know how much I've seen the enamel candle holders go for, and I have my own, and it cost me like $3. So if you like these and you want to see more, give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later. Bye.